All right, welcome to our Southern Virginia life. So today we're going to be looking at this Camplux. This is the BW264 propane on-demand water heater. It comes with a wand, a shower head wand that quick connects. I changed the fittings to hook these washer hoses up so I could isolate it there if I want to take it on and off, but it goes to a shower head that I built inside a shower inside this cottage. And so there's no diverter or mixing valve on the shower. There's only a lever that turns the shower head on and off. This hot water line goes directly to that shower head. So the temperature is preset here, and of course when it gets cold out that'll have to change, right? So there's a little dialing that in, but it's much simpler build, and I made it with corrugated metal. I can show you that in a different video. And I didn't want to make holes in it, so I put the shower head above the metal, so I purposely did not put a mixing valve. But I want to go over a couple of troubleshooting things. I came out here and it didn't fire up. What happens is you turn the shower head nozzle on, or I split it inside, it goes to the sink as well, which the sink you can mix with hot water because it goes to a faucet. You can mix with cold water. So I came out one day, turned on the shower, and this thing did not fire up. And so I thought automatically it was the batteries. So I changed there's the compartment. I changed the batteries, still didn't fire. So I tried a few different things and called the support at Camplux. Spoke to an Asian lady who had a little trouble understanding her, but she spoke pretty good English, so it wasn't too hard to understand her. But it was clear in the first few minutes that she didn't really have any knowledge of this unit. So, of course, working in the support center there is a perfect job for her. But she helped me the best she could. She's very polite, very nice, personable lady. And I could tell clearly she has a checklist of things in front of her that she is instructed to tell the customer. Troubleshooting tips, try this, try that. She ran through the list, and she was telling me, make sure you have enough propane in the tank. Make sure the regulator valve, she wanted me to change out the regulator valve. She wanted me to take the face off and check the gas valve. And so I'm saying to myself, well, it's an ignition issue, right? Even if I had no gas, if I disconnected the tank completely, would the thing ignition still click and attempt to fire when the water's running through it? And she said, no, it won't. Well, she was wrong. It will. So, of course, I didn't know that at the time until I got it working. I went back and checked these things. So when you're troubleshooting, and anybody that's shot anything knows that you have to have some knowns, some fixed things that in order to move forward. You can't assume anything. And so I didn't know that, in fact, it will attempt to fire. And so she said it wouldn't, so I went in a different direction. But I'm just making this video to try to help people that are having problems, because they may run into the same stone wall at the support center. So I'm going to tell you a couple things that I found out. Two, really. One is that if you're troubleshooting this unit, your first question should be, is it a gas supply issue, a water pressure issue, or an electrical issue, i.e. dead batteries, a pin could be disconnected from the battery compartment over to the starter, whatever. And so by knowing that it will ignite without the gas, you can eliminate the gas. If it's trying to fire up and you're seeing, maybe you'll see this thing flash, maybe you won't, I think you will, then okay, it's getting the proper electricity from the battery, it's more than likely on the gas side. And then you can go in that direction. Or in my case, this was completely dead. It was not clicking or attempting to fire at all. Now I know that it will attempt to fire without gas. So if that happens, it's not a gas issue. So don't waste any time worrying about how much propane you have, or is the regulator bad, or is the solenoid valve behind here bad. Know that it's go in the direction of the batteries. Make sure you have good batteries. if it still doesn't work, there might be some kind of pin loose on the wire or something. Here's what I found out. Minimum, maximum on the water. It doesn't say it in the book, at least I couldn't find it in the owner's manual. But I thought that was output pressure. And so, in other words, I set it to max because I wanted the most pressure out of the shower head I could get. Well, it wouldn't fire. Well, because it's not. It's sensing the input pressure. In other words, I'm on a well here, and I'm on a cottage away from the house, and so the pressure is okay, but it's not super great. So it has to be set on minimum to fire. If I move this thing up, even to here, it shuts off, and it gives me that condition. No ignition, nothing on the gauge. So that's a good thing to know. The pressure is regulated on the input side, which makes sense, but in my mind, I didn't fully know that. So if you're having a problem, try that. Set this to minimum. Now, if you got city water and you got great pressure, then set it to maximum or adjust it in between as you go. But so basically, those are the two things. Hopefully they'll help you. Number one, if you're operating on minimal pressure, set this to minimum water pressure. Number two, if you have a gas issue, i.e. tank, low gas, out of gas, regulator, solenoid, gas valve, this will still attempt to fire. You'll still hear it click. If you don't hear it click, it's not a gas issue. Don't waste your time with the gas. Now, you may also have a gas issue, but don't start there. Figure out why the ignition isn't working first. And to somebody who knows about these units, they might be watching this saying, well, duh, right? But I didn't know. And so those are two things that could have helped me, because if I absolutely knew those things, then I would have given me a clear direction, and I wouldn't have wasted a day and a half trying to figure this thing out and calling customer service, which really is not going to be any help at all, and wasn't for me anyway. I hope it's helpful, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. God bless you.